Welcome to 154 of you that are joining me live from around the world. That sounds cool, right? Some of you early in the morning, like 3:57 a.m. Well done to Az for your commitment. I hope I can fill you with, I hope I can make it worth your while. I'll have to unmute you. Good stuff. All to the 491 that have registered who are watching on a replay. Hopefully you're not too late to the party. So what have I got in store for you? I'm going to just show you a quick slide deck in a moment, showing you what I'm going to go through tonight. Hopefully I'm done and dusted in an hour for you. Yeah, I do rabbit on sometimes and go on tangents, but I'm going to be as concise as I can. 6 of you have been sneaky. So 6 of you have guessed the website URL and gone on and bought it already. So the 50 that are going to get a deal that are early to join the party, that's now down to 44. So for those people using their sneakiness, well done. I see I've got a load of questions in the Q&A. If you've got questions as I go, please add the question, because it's impossible for me to keep an eye on this chat. There's just too many people. So add it in the question. One favor though, please check that the question's not already being asked, because that's just not clever, is it? If you're asking something that's been asked before, I will cover all the questions in there. So please just wait for that. Ahmed, I think that must be you, mate, because everyone else seems to be okay. Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen shortly, right now, and I won't be able to see this chat or anything. So let's get started. Right. So where's the screen share? Entire screen. There we go. Lots of people on. So here's what I'm going to go through. Oh, it doesn't like it when I click that. I'm going to cover what the Red Alert Newsy 8 actually is, how it works, the strategies we're using, and what makes it different ultimately. I'm going to talk through how it can help you and what the opportunity here is. Now, most of you that are on this are going to know that trading news provides us with a huge opportunity. There's increased volume, there's increased volatility. You can either get screwed, or you can, without having a plan and totally guessing where that news is going to go, or you can execute a strategy that we've created with the data to support it. And obviously, there's no guarantee of backtest results predicting the future. However, there are things I teach you in terms of robust testing that is going to help you with that market predictability, and also how we diversify our approaches. We're not putting all our eggs in one basket, in one strategy, in one pair. There's numerous things we do that help that. And I've shown this since November. So on YouTube, there are videos. On Instagram, I've shared results of news trading live doing this. Yeah. I'm going to show you how easy it is to backtest. And I'm also going to show you specifically, because the backtest is on my screen, how I found the US 30 settings that managed to profit 11R on NFP. And yeah, so that was risking $250 on the trade, and it made 11R. So that made 3,000 US dollar. That trade alone would have paid for this EA. Yeah, so I'm going to talk through that. I'm also going to talk through, well, the opportunity, really. I'll touch on that right now. The opportunity is this can be traded on any account, be it challenges, evaluations. When you're funded, we'll talk through the props and how to navigate any particular rules shortly. Live accounts presents a great opportunity because there aren't rules, and you can really aggressively asymmetrically compound possible gains. So I'll talk about that shortly too. So anybody who joins and gets Red Alert, you're going to get set files, you're going to get data, you're going to get support. There's going to be a live Zoom or crowdcast like this next week where I'm going to test with you. I'm going to show you how to test for CPI on Tuesday or PPI on Friday, one of the two. We'll do it together. We'll do it live. You also get optimization files, and they're super small. More on that later. So first things first, let's talk about the actual strategy itself, because there's a bit more to it than just trading the news release. In fact, if you just waited until 1:30 on NFP day on Friday and traded at that exact minute, you are going to get absolutely annihilated. I tried it with it. I knew it wouldn't work because I knew about the slippage and the speed of the movement, but I wanted to explore it. So I ran it on one news event and just got slipped so much. Slippage is going to happen. But we can mitigate it in various different ways, and we can capitalize on how news releases move the market, again, by trading in 3 different ways mainly. Now, let's also take note of the fact that the world right now is very uncertain. We've got inflation, we've got interest rates through the roof, and that is driving such big movement on these news releases that there genuinely hasn't been a better opportunity to capitalize on news releases in an uncertain world. Anyway, so on to this. So I've got 3 examples here of how news might move the market. And, we often get the initial news release, which is my lovely neat red line. We might get a spike up. We might then get a big spike down, and then we'll trend after. Yeah, that's quite normal. So basically, if you look at markets in a way that it's trying to manipulate and take out, this drop here is taking out all the longs from this initial spike, and then it flies. How often has that happened to you? You actually get the direction right, but you get tagged out of it first. And you could look at it this way. We don't get the spike up. We just get the drop, and then it flies. Or we just get it where it just literally is consolidating, and then it just goes one way, never to be seen again for a short while. So what our Red Alert EA enables you to do is to trade before, after, with instant trades, playing off a very high risk to reward with each other to catch either the first move or the second move, and or trade with stop orders. So for example, in this middle example, if we set a stop order up here that triggered, the other one gets deleted, and we can capitalize on a tight stop loss and a high risk to reward. Now, my preference is actually using a specific time before and a specific time after, and also using the odd stop order as well. Yeah. And what we do is we can do this using all the major pairs for a specific news release. So with NFP, we can be looking at running gold, EU, US 30, GU, and just back test them in a very simple and quick way, and putting together a basket of diversified approaches before, after, stop orders, all for that one news release. Yeah. And this is what helped yield that I think it was NFP or CPI FTMO pass that literally passed in 4 minutes. Yeah. Probably even less than that. I think it was 1 minute. It was all recorded and it was all put on YouTube. So in principle, that is the strategy in its singular form. Now, if I show you next the data that we've got that really sums up, hopefully you're all still there, but I can't see you, how I believe pound for pound, this is pretty unbeatable, in my opinion. Because if you consider the results of what I've got to show you here, based on the fact that there aren't many high impact news trading events a month. Well, there's plenty, but I'm talking about the major 5 or 6 here. Yeah. And we're trading only major pairs because that's where most of the movement lies. Now, all of these results here that are on screen right now are based on a $100,000 account, and they are based on risking just 0.25% per trade. So it's based on risking $250 a trade on one news release day a month on, yes, a basket of pairs, maybe 4 or 5 pairs. So let's look at jolts. So that's just, again, 1 day a month trading just jolts, which gives you another 19 possible trading days to do whatever the hell you want to do with, and just use jolts as the bit of a sweetener. It's yielded $62,705 net profit on just 78 trades. Again, risking risking $250 per trade. So if we look at a specific equity chart for jolts, you'll see how this equity curve moves forward. Got the same for CPI. Now PPI as well, and the big one, which is NFP. Yeah. So my set files were done up until November, so that's why December and January are a bit off, because that only includes, I think, 1 pair, which is US 30. But you can see the average net profits here on just NFP, with just 0.25% a trade, with just 1 trading day a month. Absolutely pretty colossal. Yeah. Again, equity chart for NFP. Now, when we combine, obviously there are more high impact news events than this. However, I'm trying to keep it to just the main ones. Yes, you can backtest. Yes, we can explore other ones within it. But for me, it's jolts, CPI, PPI, NFP. It's bank rate decisions, and that's probably the main one. I've got pound bank rate decisions. There's also BOJ, Bank of Japan. But always stick to majors, yeah, the major pairs, GU, EU, AU, NU, USD CAD is particularly solid, because on an NFP Friday, you've also got high impact CAD news. So USD CAD seems to move just that bit more sometimes too, and UJ. So here's the money shot as such. So what we've got here is trading 1, 2, 3, 4 news events a month across the major pairs, risking 0.25% of strategy per trade. These are the average net profits per month. We've got a $35,800 month, a $25,000, a $28,000, a $23,000, 4 days, guys. 4 days. 4 days a month, risking 0.25. Okay. Now, pulling all these individual strategies together might look time consuming, but it really isn't, because the EA has very few inputs. Okay. Very few inputs. So I'm going to now come out of that and show you. Oh no, I needed to be in that. I'll show you how I found the US 30 settings. So you'll be given optimization files, but here's an example. So basically, this is one of the particular strategies where we're looking to buy and sell at a specific time, both before and after news. There's only 1,428 total combinations. As we compare that to other EAs, including banker, some banker optimizations are into the hundreds of thousands. There's 60,000, 50,000 conservatively. This is quite a detailed test at 1,428 because it's US 30. So I've got more of a pip range, when normally on a standard currency pair, you'd be looking at something like 5 with a gap of 10, maybe up to 50 pips. Yeah. So that's down to 504. So anything between 500 and 1,400 for that particular strategy. Now, when we're looking for stop orders, this does increase slightly, but only minimally. So we're looking for the pending order distance. So we're managing 2 things with stop orders. We're managing the time at which that stop order is created and the pip distance from the current price. Yeah. And then basically we're leveraging our risk here, which is in at 0.25. And then we're looking at stop loss and we're looking at risk to reward. So basically we copy and paste the news release into here. And then I ran my optimization on US 30. I did it literally 2 hours before the news release on Friday, because this is so quick. Yeah, it tests very quickly. So I don't need to mess around much. And then what I'm looking for in my back test is proportionality in terms of the results. I'm looking for things to have worked in the optimization phase and in the forward phase. Yeah. So I'm going to show you this live next week and also record a couple more videos on it. Now, my members, current Power members, will know what this is all about. If you're not a current Power member, then you will soon learn it. Okay. So the one I chose was this one because it had made 7,500 in the back test and just under 5,000 in the forward test. It's a 1 to 11 risk to reward, and the actual graph is in here. Yeah, and yes, there's the odd losing month. Actually, February made 3,000 because it was only last week. Yeah, there's the odd losing month, but considering these are just 2 trades a month, and when they hit big. And that's why, however, we combine them with numerous strategies all at the same time in a diversified way that leverages this. Now, that's impossible for you to do manually, in my opinion. You can't be looking at all the different currency pairs. You can't be executing and then managing any positions like that manually. It's just not possible. Yeah. Not effectively anyway, without then having data to back up the risk to rewards, the stop losses, and how that news release might have moved for the last 12 months. So this is what I recommend. All of this data is tested from mid-January last year up until now. And every month, you can just take that last 12 news releases and just follow that exact process that I've done, which will take minutes. Yeah, it's what's going to improve your odds of getting better results. You could just rely upon the Google Drive, which is where I've got a load of set files, which are in here. But I'd much rather, again, as everyone knows me, I teach you how to fish, but I'm also giving you some fish. Yeah, so you can't ask any more than that. So once you join Red Alert, there's access to a Google Drive. So I've basically suggested here the pairs that I recommend you trade and the key news events that you would look out for. Okay, that's only 11 trading days. And the results you've just seen are based on just 5 trading days, right? Or 4, was it 4? And then so we've got an installer that installs the files for you, or the individual files if you just know what you're doing. Optimization files for FX and gold and US 30. So you just load these up. Stops the guesswork in you working out what to backtest. Yeah, because it's already pre-filled in. And then we've got the pre-tested data. So I've tried to organize this in the best way if possible. So we've got USD, we've got all that data that I've just shared with you. JOLTS, CPI, NFP, PPI. So if we go into NFP, you can see all of the individual HTML files and the charts and the graphs. And then if you click the sets, you can just right-click, download, and add these to your chart. Same with these CPI. Some of them have more set files than others. It just depends, right, on what comes up in the test. Sometimes I might run a pair and it not have moved enough. It hasn't moved enough on previous, results, and there's some that are better than others. And then you have to decide how much you are willing to risk on that news release. It might be that if I'm trading 4 pairs on the chart and each are going to open 2 trades and they're risking 0.25, you could still be exposed to 2% in the market as a worst case scenario, for example. So you've got to know that. You've got to know that, and you've got to be just aware, right, that that's what your total risk might be. So another thing that everyone will get on top of obviously all the set files and information, Discord's already ready for people to land in it. We've got a little bit of a welcome message in there, link to the drives, what to do, how to set up, and an exclusive Red Alert bulletin board. Actually, a new thing I'm trying in Discord. I'm going to probably try the same with our other chats. It's going to help people have structure to discussion as opposed to the chat room being a little bit archaic. So yeah, back to here as well. So For next week, if we wanted to load CPI, the set file's already in the Google Drive. But if I wanted to backtest CPI, my clock's wrong. I think it thinks it's 1:14. That really doesn't matter right now, but all I would do is copy and paste the name of the news. I've lost it now, haven't I? Where are we? Next week. I'd copy and paste CPI month on month, copy, paste that into the tester, choose the pair, load the optimization file, and in a few minutes, I've got a basket of results, just like this, with the forward phase and back phase, and I'm looking for settings that are proportionate with each other. Why? It tells me that the back test has shown predictability in the live forward market, okay? It's not overfitting to the past. Well, it's less likely to be overfit to the past. You're showing predictability in the forward phase of the market, yeah? Good. So I've gone through Google Drive. I've gone through Discord. I've gone through the news releases. I mean, to be fair, you know, you could test AUD on unemployment rate, but it's not likely to move as much as some of the others. You might just decide, look, I'm going to run a test. You might get favorable settings, and you might just choose to run AUD USD with just one set of settings, risking 0.1, 0.2%. And, you know, I'm pretty sure you're going to get good results on that. Just not as good as waiting for the ones that move the market more, because we're looking for these high risk to reward trades. Yeah. So on to some of the things on here. So this website is going to launch straight after this. Well, it's already launched, but I'm going to give you the website URL. And just a few things to point out, really. As I've said, interest rate hikes, inflation, worldwide threat of recessions, just everything's uncertain. That's what provides us with such a great opportunity to capitalize on this right now. A few pointers on the website. You know, do get red alert if you want to maximize on the opportunity that's right in front of us. The opportunity for funded accounts, live capital, is huge. Yeah, I'll talk about live capital and asymmetrically compounding in a moment. But don't get red alert if you're expecting to win every trade. If you don't understand market slippage, we will get slipped from time to time. US 30 slipped last Friday, but it slipped in our favor. You're going to get some variance from time to time on slippage. That's just the nature of the beast. You can't go swimming and not get wet. Slippage is just the nature of trading. We can minimize our risk of getting screwed by managing our risk from the offset. Yeah. So here I talk through the opportunity. There are videos. So this is the video of the FTMO pass. Here's the video of update. I think that was CPI or PPI, and then some data on USD yen. A roundup of what you get. So basically you'll get 5 accounts, 5 licenses, just like Banker EA, but it is lifetime. There is no subscription. And so basically that'll be set up with 5 demo accounts. But if you wanted to change that and have 3 demo, 2 live, 4 demo, 1 live, you just raise a ticket and we'll amend that. Access to the set files, which I've shared, access to video support, and obviously support from our team. There's a Q&A at the bottom. And in terms of pricing and the options that are available, there's an option for the first 50 people to save £750 on this strategy. So the price overall is $2,495. Reminder, that was paid for by that one US 30 trade that happened in NFP last Friday on a funded account. So ultimately, that's $499 per account to use forever. There is always going to be high impact news. There is always going to be news releases. There are always going to be things going on in the world at different times. Yeah. Probably won't provide as much of an opportunity as maybe this next year or two is, but you know, that's the way the world goes around, isn't it, really? And sales are limited to 250. This isn't going to be available again. There's a few reasons why that's the case. I'm going to talk about them in the Q&A because there's already questions about this. Once they're gone, right? And there's the website at the bottom, Red Alert, Power EA, or I think it just works with Red Alert, to be honest, because I think that's what people have guessed already. Let's just check. Yeah, /Red Alert, and then that loads the website. So what else was I going to share? Oh, yes. So trading live capital. Now, I've done a video on YouTube about asymmetrically compounding, and basically what asymmetric, well, that's not very good, is it? What asymmetrically compounding does is accelerate the rate at which your account compounds. So normally, you know, it's the balance on the balance, and you can get a nice asymmetrically compounding curve over time. But with the potential with this strategy, because of the high risk to reward, let me give you an example. So let's take that US 30. Yeah, we risk 0. Well, let's call them R's because it's easier to look at that on a round thing. So it's 1 to 11 R. Yeah. So if we risked 1%, we'd make 11. Yeah. If we then took that 11% after a winner and maybe set the next trades up to be risking 4 and 4, for example, whatever, however you want to do it, you might risk 3 and 3, 5 and 5. If they lose, you're just back to where you were. But if you risk, for example, 4 and 4, and then you get another winner at times 11, your account's just gone up like 50, 60% in literally 2 trades. So I had some great UJ settings. I think it's in the video on the website. 1 to 8 RR, 2 consecutive winners, and you've made 64% on your account. If you made 1 to 8 and then risked that 8% again, 2 consecutive winners is 64% out of 2 trades. Yeah. Now that's not going to happen all the time, of course, but all you need is 2 consecutive, and that's how your personal capital can scale and grow. Now, obviously, on a prop firm, you've got the max daily drawdown to consider, all of those things. Now, on live capital, you might decide to risk more than 0.2, 0.25% a trade. And obviously, again, the stats and results I shared here as a combined scenario would obviously be much greater. So this is, again, a $100,000 account that risking just $250 per trade equates to $216,510 in less than 12 months on those 4 alone news releases. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much it. In summary, trading news releases in pretty much 3 ways: before, after, and with stop orders across numerous pairs for the most high impact volatile news releases on major pairs. We're leveraging high risk to reward ratios, and it's really important that you let these trades play out, because if you don't, you're not going to get these results. Yeah. I don't believe in lock profit trailing stops. I've seen it too many times that this happens. You know, it flies one way, comes back to your trailing stop or your break even, takes you out at a small loss or small profit, and then flies in your favor. You don't trade news in fear. Yeah, you genuinely have got to let any fear go. Let the strategies play out. Sometimes it'll come up here and sometimes it might not hit its TP, but the data isn't wrong. Yeah, more times than not, like on my Instagram stories that you've seen since November, I've teased, well, this hit stop loss or take profit, and literally most of them have hit take profit. Yeah, with huge risk to reward trades. Yeah, loads of people have asked me, oh, is this SMC? No, it's just a fucking new strategy that leverages a high risk to reward ratio, and it trades it in the most volatile, effective time to actually trade. Yeah, which is when the markets are, where's everybody gone? Where the markets are moving the most. Okay. So, we've got dickhead already, haven't we? You do get them, don't you? Luckily, I just caught that. Hey ho, hey look, there's a few things here. There might be loads, a bit like any EA strategy. There are numerous tools out there. The power in this is how I teach you to use it. That's the given. Yeah, the power in this is leveraging that knowledge, testing in a robust way, and putting that into just flawless execution. I can't say any more than that. And I fucking proved it since November. I could have launched this straight away, but I wanted to prove, watch these news releases. And obviously that took a bit of patience because you don't get a high impact news release every day. It doesn't exist. It would be bloody lovely, but then it probably wouldn't have its power like it does in this. Yeah. So I think it's, let me just share the site into the thing. Bear with me, sorry. It's really important to understand that it's not just the tool, it's how to use the tool. You know, we're trading multiple pairs in multiple different ways, all at the same time to diversify our approach on a news release. And here's the beauty, right? There's been many times I've shared the results. Oh, I need to share one more thing. Let me do that now. I need to show you the actual trade log. When we're executing a 1 to 11R strategy, we only need to win 1 out of 10 times. That's all. So you're trading expected to lose more than you win, which might be difficult to digest, but it's actually easier than when you're always expecting to win. I did a video on this the other day. So let's look at the list of trades. So here's JOLTS, CPI, PPI, NFP. When I go into a list of trades, here's the shenanigans going on. And all of these trades here make up this data that I've just shown you here, right? So you can actually see slippage, because in backtesting, it replicates slippage. And it depends how big the news moves as to when that trades in and if you get slipped or not. So, I mean, look here. Look at these trades. These are 1 to 10R. That's even more than that. But you will get these runs of losses. That's why and the thing is, you control how big them losses are, apart from a bit of slippage, and how many trades you're entering and exposed to. Yeah. Look at these runs here. You've just got funded here, right? On 0.25% a trade on this, on the 6th of July. 6th of July, we've got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 trades, and you've made 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 grand. Now you could leverage these returns on much bigger capital and keep the risk the same. Any of you that are funded with 500k FCFF, for example, you could risk $250 a trade on a 500k account, you know, and these are the potential, you know, rewards possible. So you can see that on here. You can see that some of these losses are bigger than the 250 just because of how you got slipped. Some of that is unavoidable, okay? But it's how we mitigate that risk overall. Nice run of 4 trades here, 3 or 4 here. So, you know, we do lose more than we win, but it's not about how many we win. It's what we make when we're right versus what we lose when we're wrong in the market. So that can't get any more detailed at that, really. Stop sharing. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. We've got lots of chances in the chat, haven't we? It's crazy. Get your own community, people. Anyway, let's look at the questions. We've got quite a few. Oh, 29. Fucking hell. 8:38. I'll do my best to go through these as quickly as I can. So great question from Graham about copy trading and prop rules and all this stuff. And this is very easily navigatable. Why? Well, because there are lots of minutes and seconds before and after news. Yeah, so I normally run a test that tests every like 5 minutes, but 5 minutes and 30 seconds, 5 minutes, 45 seconds, it's all going to be different. Same with the stop loss. The stop loss doesn't have to be 10 pips. It could be 13 pips, 15 pips. It's going to be a different trade. Same with the take profit. Yeah, that instead of it being a 1 to 11R, it could be a 1 to 11.5, a 1 to 10.5, a 1 to 10.7. So when you add in all of those different things, there's the different pairs, the different settings that people are going to choose. And I've limited it to 250 just to add that little bit of extra help too. All the props out there, all the traders out there, all the different major pairs, and also the option of before, after, stop loss, minutes, the gap in the stop orders, and the RRs. There are loads of variables there that you just need to understand as a trader to help, not just reliant again on the same sets that other people might be doing. But obviously they're there, and they're there to give you a bit of a, so you can get started. But again, that's why we teach you how to fish too. So what's the cost? I've just launched it. It's 1,745 for the first 50 people, 2,500 lifetime for those people after that. Now the website, as soon as it hits 50, will change and that will disappear. Yeah. And it's one time. You know, that's why you should use this tool for bloody ever, as long as there's high impact moves, which there always should be. There always will be. It's a tool to have in your arsenal. Will there be an option for a payment plan? No, there isn't. It is a take it or leave it sort of thing. You know, and I guess for me, there's lots of people that, you know, we buy prop challenges. They're $1,000, they're $2,000. What's the point in buying the prop challenges if you've not got the tools to execute to maximize the return when you've got the funded account? It's all relative. I've shown you what this can leverage and what it can do. It's not just a tool, it's how I'm teaching you to use it, as I've said. So for me, price is totally relative to what can be achieved. Great question, David. I saw this earlier. It doesn't need, and like with Banker's pretty much there now. There's one more thing that we're exploring to add. But then it's like, there's only so many things you can do. With this strategy, it's a simple and effective strategy.